Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Mental Health Tips of the Week. Today we're discussing gratitude and its healing powers and how to use gratitude in your own life, no matter your circumstances and no matter how you're feeling in that moment. So my name is Allison. I am a mental health counseling student, and I'm also the receptionist for the Traveling Therapist. And this is Lily Smith, owner of the Traveling Therapist and licensed clinical social worker.
Hi, everybody. Okay, so since it's the mental health tips, we're going to keep it quick and we're going to keep it short. So first, I want to make sure that we are on the same page about what it means to practice gratitude on a regular basis. The first thing I want to immediately get out of the way is you don't have to be in a gracious mood. And you don't have to even be in a positive mood or in a happy mood to practice gratitude. As a matter of fact, in my own personal life, I find that some of the toughest times, some of the most complicated times of my life, I have needed to practice gratitude even more than during the times when it comes easy to be grateful for things. So keep that in mind. Whatever state of mind you're in, whatever situation you're going through, practicing gratitude, from noticing small things to big things, can make a big difference from the way that you're feeling to the way that you experience the world around you. So, okay, the first thing that we're going to talk about is what is it that we're looking for when it comes to being gracious and practicing gratitude? What's the goal, right? So I like to think of gratitude in the sense of energy and vibrating under the energy of gratitude. I find is probably the most helpful and the most just effective way to carry your life. So that's when you're elevated and you're feeling emotionally like, okay, anything that comes my way, whatever it is, positive, negative, it doesn't matter. I'm going to still kind of be in this space. Think about it this way. Whenever you're feeling down, it's really easy to find people around you who are negative, who are jealous, who are not in a good mood. We talk about, oftentimes, just in general these days, we talk about how we attract whatever energy we're putting out, right? So if you're already down, if you're already having a hard time, do you want to be attracting that same kind of energy to you? If you're having a bad day, you woke up late, there's people rushing you on the street, when you're driving home, there's your boss yelled at you, all these different things, you're already having a hard time. Do you want to, would you rather, not do you want to, but would you rather be in a state of mind where you're moving towards attracting positive outcomes or at least positive mindset? Or are you looking to attract more angry people, more unfavorable situations, more discomfort, more frustration? Like, that's the idea. No matter where life is going, you have to think about what I put out is what I attract.
So that's why one of the goals too, when we were talking about gratitude before, is one of those goals is to notice that gratitude is contagious and that you're going to inspire others to be more grateful, just as people are going to inspire you to be more grateful in your own life.
Right. So here's your 5 tips for getting yourself out of the funk of feeling like everything is wrong, everything is bad, I have nothing to be grateful for, I have nothing to look forward to vibrating on a much higher frequency, vibrating on the frequency of gratitude. First one,
So I think the first one I really want to touch on is when you're at your lowest and when you're really not feeling grateful. And that's celebrating the small victories, the small things that make you happy. Like for instance, I used to be a teacher, so my students, I would tell them, if you have like a foaming soap in the bathroom or something, that is something to be grateful for. And it's not like spinning it and like, this is going to make me the happiest person in the world, but you're finding something that brings some joy to your life and hoping that that can inspire you to find more joy in your life.
And I do think if we're thinking about like, okay, really, really down, I know that happy, the word happy as a whole is a really complex word.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't know what makes them happy. That's fine. Think about what brings you peace. Think about what makes you feel comfortable. Think about what brings a smile to your face.
What makes you feel safe is a big one.
What makes you feel safe. So I've heard people say things like the smell of the rain makes me feel comfortable or safe. Laying on a crisp, clean bed, like sheets have been washed and you have that smell.
A moment of silence by yourself.
A moment of silence. So that's what we're talking about, is notice those little things, invite them if you can, and then find the gratefulness in it. That's where you can start. Small, being able to pet your dog, and just think, I'm so grateful that I have this pet. I'm so grateful that I get to pet them. I'm so grateful that they're in my life. So like practice, using your gratitude even in those small moments.
And tips like that and the tips that we're about to share too, I think help to renew that hope to get you to that higher level where you're, like you said, vibrating at a gratitude frequency. You need that hope in order to get to that point.
Yes.
Next. So the next tip that we discussed was to notice gratitude in others even when you can't find it in yourself.
That's a good one. I think that gratitude or just grace too are both the types of things that can be really touching. And so if you take a moment to acknowledge and to know and to just like recognize when it's happening, it can really touch you. And you can sort of experience it even if you are not directly the person being affected by it. So try to, as a matter of fact, like if you're feeling really down, putting on feel good animal videos is a good one. Where like, especially the ones where like they save animals, like rescue turtles or like puppies and stuff like that. Those really give you perspective.
And on a subconscious level, we're connecting with the animal's gratefulness to the person that's rescuing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Or if you're just like, notice that somebody does an act of kindness, like first acknowledge how the gratitude of being there in that moment of like, I'm so glad I was here for this, that I know I get to see this, like my hope for humanity was restored by watching this, and I'm glad I was here. And then if you have the opportunity, tell that person, like, I saw what you did, that was really kind of you. Like,
even this conversation's making me happy thinking about those moments that I've seen people like acting like that, and I've been so grateful to be in that moment. Mm-hmm. And that actually ties into tip number 3 for us, which is paying it forward and showing your appreciation. So like, let's say I see you hold the door for somebody and I'm like, that was a really sweet moment. And I say, thank you so much for being so kind and opening the door for somebody else. Mm-hmm. I mean, it feels so silly, but like, how good do you feel when people acknowledge the things that you do?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And paying it forward also means like if somebody does something kind to you, first, you want to hold on to the feeling, like take a second and just kind of like let the feeling sink in and tell yourself like, I'm grateful for this, but also then you verbalize it and then pay it forward and do it for somebody else. Something else or the same thing. I know that there's like, sometimes they do like the gratitude chains at like the coffee stores and stuff like that. And like you can pay like a percentage of their breakfast or a coffee or whatever. those things, like gratitude is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
And so like as you spread it around, people feel good. You see a smile on their face, and that makes you feel good. So
there's thousands of moments in a day, and it's so easy to notice the negative ones. So I guess my challenge would be find at least one thing that happened positive and try and focus on that moment instead. But that goes along with the paying it forward. And then we also discussed tip number 4, which is reinforcing with affirmations. So looking for like quotes and lyrics and poems. And then that's another thing that you can hold on to. That's another moment in the day that you thought on the gratitude of everything.
Yes. Okay, so we are going to be doing another tips of the week, which is going to be talking about being self-aware. And one of the things that ties the two of them together is sometimes you can think of a quote or a song or something that ties back to gratitude, and meditate on it for a few seconds. So say it's a quote, you close your eyes, you take 30 seconds and just repeat the quote in your mind. And if you get distracted, take a breath and go back to it for 30 seconds. And that covers both the affirmation aspect of it, but it also really sinks into your subconscious and helps you to kind of make it part of your self, like your mind and your identity. So
and two, while you're doing that, tip number 5, you can journal. So taking that quote, and then while you're making that part of your mantra, maybe you want to take some time to journal after that of what the quote means to you or how it applies to your own life.
Yes. And even let's say that maybe you don't have the energy to like do a whole bunch of journaling, even if you just write down the quote, and then you can go back and you can look through your quotes, and your quotes are going to tell a story of how you felt in those days.
And not every quote is going to connect with you each day, so it kind of shows you what was your value that day. What did you appreciate? What was important to you?
Yes.
You'll see a pattern. And that increases that self-awareness that we're going to discuss in another video.
Yes. So these 5 tips are going to help improve your mental awareness and just in general going to help you be a more gracious person, which really, there's nothing bad about gratitude whatsoever. You can't overdo it. You can't be too thankful.
I mean, you might annoy some people, but like you'll also inspire them to be grateful too.
Yes, and you know, and when we're looking about when you're going about your everyday life, you practice it from the moment you wake up. If something catches your eye, don't ignore it. Mm-hmm. Like I woke up this morning and I went to the gym, and then when I left the gym, I walked out and the sky was so flipping beautiful. I was like, wow, like that's gorgeous. I was like, I'm so grateful for this weather. And that was it. And then I got in my car and I went about my day, but it just made me feel so good to look at the sky. So give me a simple step.
Yeah. Well, and that comes down to your values too. But we discussed, and I don't think we've said it in this video, moments like that help you to block out the negative energies and stuff that you might have experienced earlier in the day or that you might experience later in the day. It sets you up for that success and that hope and that the things that will bring you joy and bring you peace of mind.
Yeah, there's something really amazing that happens when you set yourself up to have a spirit of gratitude and a mindset of gratitude, mm-hmm. where other people's negative experience and other people's negative attitude really just doesn't hit you the same way anymore. It may come your way. You may hear people being negative. You may be around negative people, but it's not going to affect you in the same way because you're just surrounding your own mind with gracious thoughts and positive thoughts.
It's like your protective cape.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it works in a lot of different ways. and it's just a very helpful neurologically, psychologically, emotionally. So it's all good all around.
It's your superpower.
All right. I think this is going to be it for today. Quick and easy. And we hope that it helped. And if it did, we invite you to leave a comment. If you tried any of the tips and they helped, leave us a comment. If you have anything else that you would like for us to talk about, as always, we invite you to also leave a comment. And if you have a story that you want to share it with us. And other than that, we're grateful for you guys. And we hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.